Hello, very good morning to you. This is Cafe Clairvoyance. This is the Wednesday Spiritual Astrology Show. A very, very good morning to you. I hope you're well wherever you are, wherever you're coming in from this morning. And yes, let's have a wonderful, wonderful show. Find out what's going on in astrology. Find out all the information there, which I thought you'll find very interesting. And yes, I'll be with you very soon. In the meantime, let's have a little bit of this. Well, it's lovely to see you guys this morning. I'd love to see so many of you coming in already and saying hello. The producer is here. It's lovely to see you guys, and everyone else who's coming on. Thank you very, very much. Okay, so how's your week been going so far? And are you feeling positive? Are you feeling, oh, what's going on out there? And we shall find out this morning all about the astrological atmosphere at the moment, where I'm going to be joined by my wonderful friend, colleague, and exceptional astrologer and psychologist, Guiomar Ramirez-Montesinos. She always says to me, that's roughly how it sounds, how to pronounce my name, but I'll do it. That's the English version, or the Spanglish version, should I say. Yeah, she's nodding her head in the background here. I can see her going, I'll get him one day, I'll get him. Anyway, so lovely to see you. Maria, good morning to you. Good morning to you. All our beautiful people. Well, all our back, because you're beautiful too. That's lovely. Okay, and hope you got your coffee ready. Coffee, guys, coffee. This is the Cafe Clairvoyance. It would be rude not to have a coffee or something you're doing here, whether you're at work and you could take a break right now. A long break, because you just enjoy this. Laura Graham comes in from Norfolk, beautiful part of the world, which is the only place in the world which, when someone goes to put stuff in their car, they say petrol. It took me ages to understand what's petrol. It's petrol or gasoline, as we call it, but they say petrol. There you go. Anyway, Guiomar's in the background. She says, good morning. And yes, let's go and have a great chat this morning. If you would like a reading this morning, by always, guys, we need a question. We need your date of birth and a favourite colour. One question, one colour, and one date of birth. I think there's only one. Anyway, so let's go and find out what's happening here, and let's go and find out what's going on in astrology, and let's go and find out if Guiomar is there. Ah, she is. And that's Andrew. Brilliant. Good morning. How are you?
Can I go this way? Wait, I'm centering myself in the screen. Where?
Okay, you're spot on just there. Spot on. Looks fantastic. And yes, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good. Natural coffee, always. Yes, saves in here. Natural coffee. Yes.
Always good.
It's always good. Brilliant. Okay, so guys, let us know where you're coming in from. I know, Laura, you're coming in from Norfolk, and Maria, I think we know where you're coming in from. But also, you other guys there, just drop us a line. Let us know where you are residing this morning. Okay, so we're talking astrology. We're talking about this atmosphere at the present time. Sometimes people are feeling a little bit like, oh, things that make you go, oh. This morning, people a little bit anxious, a little bit uncertain where their times are going. Is this perfectly normal, or is this something they've got to just take on, or just out the door with it? What's going on, do you think?
Well, I think the attitude of saying, oh my God, things are weird, let's wait until everything clears up, and everything gets back to normal, that's the wrong attitude to have.
Uh-huh.
Because we're in the middle of a huge leap in consciousness, in human consciousness.
Yes.
So it's all about being more ourselves and being less codependent on others, and being less codependent on power figures and other people's opinions, but actually being aligned with ourselves. So to entertain the fact that the outside is not what I want and I'm going to wait it out, is not a good idea. It's not about waiting it out. It's about accepting, okay, those things are that way, but there's a
Yep.
reason for that.
Yep.
And it's that reason is a positive one, even though I don't like what's going on. So I'm going to try and look at myself, see how I can feel better in myself. What can I do for myself? And especially if we're in lockdown, basically, I said a few months ago that I didn't believe we were going to go into full lockdown as we did in March.
Yeah.
That I thought that it was going to be more localized, and it had to do with how people really connected to the fact that the important thing is to be with you, right? So, like before, we would just go like a chicken, like a crazy chicken running around all over the place, chickens without a head, just running around all over the place and not really being respectful to us. But lockdown helped us connect with ourselves. So not everybody understood that. And in a way, I believe that when people have to go again into lockdown, it's because they have to go back into, hey, wait a minute, got to get back into myself.
Uh-huh.
So
Yes.
it's not about waiting out what's going on. It's about what are you going to do during that time? How are
Okay.
you going to connect with yourself during that time?
Okay.
That's what this period is asking us for.
I think that's very interesting what you're saying. And I think it is about reconnecting with ourselves and whatever is going on out there in our world that sometimes makes it look like it's all going wrong. It's not really. It's about reconnecting with ourselves and just saying, hey, what do I want? It's interesting as well here because a lot of people are changing the way they're integrating socially. I've seen this from people. It's not about saying, oh, I don't want to be with them anymore. I don't want to be that. It's just the way they're doing it. It's like people are choosing different ways or different groups or approaching it differently. And I think people are more involved in, I would always say, kindness in some respects. Well, we're all human. So some people say it's kind, some people say it's not. But it's involving here how people really think culturally very differently to what they used to. I think that's a very big point to it as well. And
Yeah,
good
because
morning. Yep.
you have to choose.
Yes. People should choose. Yes.
We were
Yes.
choosing. We
Yes.
were very much on inertia before, and we
Mm.
have to choose who resonates with us. We have to be more selective of who do we want to spend our precious time with,
Yes. Yes. Because it is precious time, isn't it? And I think if you're resonating with the right people, you feel really good about yourself because it resonates on the same frequency. Now, I know we could say that about any time in our lives, but this is very important now. I think people are stepping back from what they used to be in, not because they're just there because they don't like people. I just think that they need to reassess themselves, what they want to do culturally, where they're going. So it's like realignment in different ways, socially and
Yeah.
culturally.
Yes, it is. Yesterday, I was watching a video from the embodiment conference I mentioned. I
Oh
think I
yes.
mentioned before. Yeah. So I like bought a channel and the keynotes. So and one of the keynotes is very interesting. Can't remember the name of the guy or the association, but anyway, it was very, very visual. So basically, he was talking about being in the self. How does it feel? Just stand up and be in yourself, and then reach out and connect with others. How does that feel? So basically, the idea was that the way we are normally connecting, especially if we are sensitive people, is very much out of our centers. So I'll just stand up to show that it's like we can be like in ourselves, or we can be totally out of ourselves and like totally being with the other,
Yes.
and we're not
Yes.
cycling. We're not
Yes.
coming back into ourselves. So it's like if we were standing like that, it's in a precarious equilibrium. So it's difficult to be like that. Whereas if you're here and you give from here, it's a totally different story. Then you can get the feedback and then you can digest it and then you can give it out. So basically that's what what we're learning unconsciously, to be more centered when we reach out to others, when we give to others, not just totally be out on a limb and being
I
there to see.
was, I used to do that. I must admit, I used to do that very socially, very lively. Used to just reach out to people. A lot of times, I'll just get on with them. I got a Libra moon. I just enjoy being with people. It's in the seventh house. It's all about friendships, relationships, building communities. But what I learned was here is people don't do the same back. That's what I
No,
thought.
because
Oh, so
if you're not in you, you're not at home.
that's
There's
right.
nobody there. So
That's
there's
right.
nobody can come by and say, hey, I want to pay you a visit, because you're not home.
Isn't that a lovely way to describe it? I think that's a lovely way to describe it. Yes. Debs Harris says she shared it. Well done, Debs. Well done, Debs. We'll give you a round of applause, Debs. Yeah, well done. Yeah, good on you, lady. So, guys out there, can you share? Can you share the show that's going on at the present time? It gets out there. It's a free show. So this, all we ask you to do is just press your share button, and that would be fabulous. And Yanira says, good morning. Good morning to you, Yanira. As does Mila Z. Mila Z, the social media guru, Mila Z. Good morning. And yes, so lovely to see you guys on the show. Okay, so as we progress, we see the moon getting a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder, a bit brighter as we start to walk through the night, and it's illuminating around us as it is an illuminary. And as it gets a bit brighter, it's coming up towards November the 30th, and we've got that eclipse coming up. So that's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? It's going to be the last one of this year. Well, not the last eclipse, but the last eclipse way this is this year. You've got the other part of it, the eclipse as well. This one here be coming into, because it's all about Sagittarius now, isn't it? We're moving out of Scorpio, very much about Sagittarius. It's this family that's been going on, hasn't it, between Gemini and Sagittarius. And how these sequences are going on, and looking back, maybe say back to June time earlier on this year, June, July, when the previous eclipse was around, and what's going on in your life, what's changed, and maybe looking at what the secrets are, what the indicators are to where your life is going. This one here, Sagittarius, I tend to look at this as like, oh yes, Sagittarius, very much about looking towards the future. Very much about getting philosophical, maybe what it is you want to learn. What is it you want to change? Maybe what sporting habits you want to go and take up, and things like this. Is what would you like to say about this particular eclipse coming up? It's quite a strong one, isn't it?
Yeah, but for me, Sagittarius, I mean, yeah, it is about being able to envision the future, but I don't believe that. So our ego is not the one that can actually manage the future. That's the belief we have.
Yes.
And that belief is actually not helping us right now. So it's not about what do I have to do? How do I have to do it? How can I plan it? It's more about Sagittarius is about integrating Scorpio polarities and learning to have faith and trust in life and flowing and being connected with you. And then from that connection, you can, for example, through meditation or a moment of quietness or solitude, you can actually envision your best future possible. So the best version of your future that is possible. And when you have that vision, you can then bring it down and into you and point yourself in that direction. So that's the quality of Sagittarius. It's not about, okay, what do I want to do now? So this is why I don't agree so much on what most people, like what you were mentioning before about the new moons and everything. I tend to not believe that the ego mind has so much to do with it.
Okay.
We have to learn to connect with our higher desires, our soul desires, or our higher selves desires. And the way to do it is more like being inside you, being connected with you, so you don't have so many mental distractions.
Okay, this is very interesting. So it's like taking a step back from the Sagittarian travel out there, looking towards the future, because we've got the Jupiter, we've also got the two sides of Jupiter, really, isn't there? There's the Pisces Jupiter and the Sagittarian Jupiter, and the philosophical feeling side that we could embrace a little bit with the Pisces side, and also then taking on the that area where we can expand in our lives and what it is we want to create and where we're going, how we're going to do this. And Phil Burville writes in, he says, I've been trying for some years now to earn a living in the financial markets. Is it going to happen? Well, we need your date of birth, and we also need a colour, so then we can help you. But yes, we need those details there. Laura Graham says she's coming, she's 8th, oh, just get this up here. And she says 8th and 9th, 1994. Lilac, changing career. Any messages for me? Oh, let's write this down. That's good stuff. And we also have another one that's coming as well. Debra also writes in as well. We'll just get back to you guys in just a second. I'm just writing down your
Yeah.
numbers here to get your numerology on this as well. Okay.
Yeah, so we're talking about Jupiter's double nature. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is that Jupiter or Sagittarius are symbolized by the centaur, and
Yes.
centaur is half man, half animal, and that is supposed to represent, like, the man side is supposed to represent the higher self, and the animal side is supposed to represent the instinctual self. So Jupiter, basically, it's the expansion until obvious of the polarities that we deal with in Scorpio. So it's the expansion beyond control, you can say. So in Scorpio, we try to control the polarities, so we don't have to be faced with that which we don't like and just blame it on somebody else. And in Jupiter, you can't do that. You're shoved in the face with the reality you're denying, with that polarity that you don't want to see. So it's basically, you find it everywhere, and it's just, you can't get away from it. So Scorpio has a magnetic pull towards polarities. Jupiter is more, it's like in your face and like shove it,
Oh
and
yes. Oh
you can't
yes.
deny it.
It's
It has,
it's this way. It's we got to get. It's very enthusiastic, isn't it? But sometimes it's overwhelming.
yeah, I have this funny story about, I once did a reading to this woman. She's from the States. So she was born in Texas, so you get an idea. She lived in New York, and
Oh
she
my
was Jewish.
goodness. Yes.
So you can imagine the extremes inside her, right? So she had like a whole bunch of planets in Sagittarius, but in the 12th house. So 12th house is like, I'm not sure what's there. It's kind of invisible. It's also very spiritual. Like, she was a spiritual teacher and all this, and she had all these gifts, and she could read, do readings and all that stuff. But she was always connected, she didn't quite get the abundance she knew she was destined to get, and the way she spoke was, no, I don't understand it, because I know I'm supposed to be abundant, but I'm not, I don't understand it. Whatever I do, it always fails. I always lose money. I win money, but I lose money. And she's like that all the time, right?
Oh
So
my goodness.
that's Sagittarius, right? But that's Sagittarius, like, in a low version of Sagittarius, running away from the deep shit of Scorpio. So what happened was, she was creating abundance of lack, because
Ah
that's what she focused on.
yes. That is so interesting. Oh my goodness. We could talk about this. Yes.
So Sagittarius, the thing is that Sagittarius, if you are focused on Scorpio unconsciously, okay, because one doesn't want to be focused in on cellular memories, traumatic cellular memories, and pain and all this stuff, and unresolved issues on purpose, unless you're doing your inner work, which is perfect. But if
Yep.
you're not, you're like running away from it. So that exuberance, that exaggeration that is so typical in Sagittarius, is basically a running away from all that stuff. And what
Uh-huh.
what that creates is a big bubble that bursts.
I love the way you explain things and express things. It's fantastic. It's why so many people comment on this show, because of your understanding, your philosophical approach to this is brilliant. Brilliant. Even Debra says here, abundance of lack. Interesting. Yes, abundance of lack. And isn't it interesting how people, they want to do something, but they talk themselves down. They don't talk themselves up.
No, no, no. And our thoughts are always, against ourselves. We're always talking bad about ourselves. So
Yes.
from that perspective, you can only create more bad about yourself. So this
Yes.
is the issue. It's fine. For example, imagine right now we have Neptune, which is stationary. So it's kind of like woozy and dreamy, and like our heads might be, or you might be stumbling upon things. You might forget things. You might just go, wait, I'm out of it. What's happened?
I do that all the
Um,
time.
and because your Pisces rising. But and then on the other hand, we've got the Scorpio thingies and the Capricorn cluster, which is kind of bringing us down. It's like, no, 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 be real and get the deep shit out. No,
Yeah.
so this combination that is right there right now. No, and if we are not dealing with, so if we open up our mind to higher levels of consciousness, then in comes the light, but the light's going to impact against all the blockages caused by all the unresolved trauma from past lives,
Absolutely.
ancestors,
Absolutely.
life,
Yes.
etc. And that's going to come out. So in comes the light, out comes the shit. And if we don't deal with the shit properly, we're gonna either get constipated or shit hits the fan. So
That is such a interesting thing, isn't it? And I think as well, this particular time, it's maybe for a lot of people, they felt very jumbled about what it is their purpose is and where they're supposed to be going. And I've even got some of the comments this morning, people asking questions about, we're doing a read this morning, like, for instance, Sam Cortez says, should I stay or should I go? There's a song about that. Should I stay or should I go now? That's brilliant. Anyway, but Sam, what I'd like to do, because we're doing a show, I'd like to say, could you come in and say, should I stay or should I go from what? Is this country, house, work, relationship? What is it? That would be great, because then we can fine tune this down to your reader this morning, because we may be harping on about something else you don't really want us to talk about.
Yeah, because you know what we humans tend to do? We kind of think that our problem is this, and it's never this that we think is our problem, because our mind says, okay, what's the smallest thing I can turn into a problem? Okay,
yes.
This is broken. Oh my God, this is broken, and this isn't the problem. And I'm like looking for help for this, and this isn't the problem. This is the smallest bit of our problems, that it has just the right size so our little mind can go, I'm under control. And the biggest issue, it's like we're not even realizing it's there. We're totally oblivious to it. No.
Okay.
So yeah, you need to be more precise in the problems you think you have, because you might find answers to that which you don't know is a problem. Anyway.
Yeah, I like the analogy. It's fantastic. It's like, are we creating a problem by thinking about it as a problem rather than actually being a problem?
Yeah.
Yes, what a philosophical morning.
We do create problems all the time anyway, because, for example, okay, say we have like an activation of a cellular memory, right? So what does this mean? So this means that some ancestor of yours, maybe 1, 2, 3 generations back, or even 7, had something traumatic, a traumatic experience which marked him or her and which conditioned the entire family. So that information trickles down generation from generation for it to be resolved, integrated, because it can't just stay open like that. It's like, you know how it is when you leave something open, it's like you need closure. So
yes.
if you don't have closure in your life, you pass it down to the next generation, and that's how it goes. Those are the cellular memories. So the cellular memories are the real issue. And what we do is we create problems based on that, because we don't understand how that works. We don't understand that cellular memories are triggering our daily experience and are conditioning the way we perceive things as problems.
We could talk about this for hours. This is fantastic. Yeah. Yes.
So basically, and I'm going to take this to Sag, so
yes,
you can use it with the current energies, with the Scorpio Sag energies that are activated there now. So what happens is we're creating problems based on these sensations, which are associated to emotions, traumatic memories that come from the past. And then, so I think I'm really frustrated because my new glass case is broken, and who broke it? Somebody did something behind my back. And this is all about some ancient memory, right?
Yep.
So what we do normally is like, oh, glass case, this isn't, I shouldn't worry about the glass case.
Okay.
The thing is, there's a double thing to this. So on the one hand, the glass case is never really the problem, but in your dualistic, egoic mind, there's something else that is a bigger problem, like an issue with your partner, with your parents, or so forth, or at work. Those are bigger issues that you're not dealing with, so you think the problem is here. That's one thing.
Ah, yes.
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 On the other hand, the way life works is problems first appear in a very subtle level, because we project the cellular memories onto everything in our lives. And we can deal with small things or with big things. So what we tend to do, so say, for example, this big issue about somebody treasoning, how do you say treasoning? Is that the
treason?
word?
Yeah, treason. Treason, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I have an experience of treason, and that comes from a cellular memory. I'm having this experience at work, but I'm focusing on that somebody broke my glasses, right? So what we're doing mentally. Say somebody broke this. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to blame somebody. You know, I'm going to find out who it is and blah, blah, blah. So we're focusing here, which in part is okay. So you can either do two things: focus on what's really the issue present for you, like go to work, go to your boss and say, hey man, what's the deal here? Or you can just realize that, okay, this is an invitation for you to feel treason, not to try to cope with treason.
Okay.
So if we understand that we can feel these cellular memories, these emotions, these sensations that are associated to mental patterns and stories from the past, if we learn to feel with little things, and normally people say, oh, that's not spiritual, you can't be bothered with that. Well, you're wrong. It's the totally opposite. It's not good to make up stories about the glass case, but it is very important to say, oh my God, because of this, I've just connected to treason. Wow, this is fascinating. So now I'm going to embody treason, and I'm going to
I
feel
think
100%.
actually, I think you're, yes, although you say treason, I think we're more about trauma. I think
Yeah, trauma by being, oh, what's the word?
sabotaging, self-sabotaging.
Sabotaging. No,
Ye-
traición.
Okay.
Traición.
I'll
What's the word
have to
traición?
look up the word. The producer's there. She's there probably rattling her brains at the moment. Thinking, I know exactly what you mean. And she's going to put the word up in a minute. It go
Yeah.
ping.
So,
But it's where you're being hard on yourself. You're then blaming something on something else, which you're not
no,
taking
no,
ownership for.
no. So it's like you have, like, in your past, in your ancestors, somebody suffered and had an experience of or life trauma
Yeah.
by a situation where somebody else how do you say treason in English? Oh my God.
Treason is treason where you go against the crown. That's where treason is where you go
Yeah,
against
yeah, yeah.
the crown. Okay.
So that happened to an ancestor, right?
Okay.
So then that isn't resolved, that isn't closed, it trickles down, and you
Yes.
feel it, and all the time you're having experiences that deal with that. Well, life situations, let's say, because you're not really experimenting it, and you're trying to control it, or you're trying to deny it because it's so common that you don't really put the finger on it. So you're having this experience at work, but that's too big an issue, because if you confront your boss about it, then you might get fired, or that's your fear. So you end up looking at small problems, at small, so this small thing is
Yes.
easy for me to manage. So I think this is the problem, but I'm trying to manage it with my mind.
Yes.
And what life is really doing is it's inviting you to feel what this is making you feel. So this is connecting me with the feeling of the experience, the sensitive physical experience of what it's like to feel treason.
Yes. Okay. I understand it totally what you mean. I think there's another word to describe treason, but
I
the
know.
issue, the concept that you're saying, totally get it. It's like you're disassociating from what the real problem is, but blaming it on
Oh,
something else, putting it on something
exactly,
else. Yes.
exactly.
Yeah. It's almost
Yes.
like a
So
disassociation.
So the invitation is to get that small little thing that bugs you and feel the emotion. Now, this
Mm.
is Sagittarius. Sagittarius says, feel the emotion. Feel what it's like to be whatever the word is.
No, they'll do it. They'll do it. That's all right. We'll come up with a word in a minute, but I'll call it
So
disassociation.
feel this experience, this sensitive experience of somebody getting up behind your back and sticking a knife in your back. Feel what it's like to be killed by your foe, or worse, to be killed by your friend. You know, the
Yes,
tree.
yes, it's a big fear, isn't it? It's a big fear of yes, it's fear. It's a fear of taking on positivity. You always think something bad's going to happen.
No, but this is what I mean. This is the point. So what we do is, no, oh, don't think bad, because if I think bad, something bad will happen. And it's the other way around. So it's not about thinking, it's about feeling, and you
Yep,
have to feel the bad.
that's the point. I would totally get. I totally agree with you. Is not to think, but to feel. I
Exactly.
totally agree
So
with you.
the little glass case, which you think is the problem because you don't want to deal with the bigger problem, is the invitation for you to feel the emotion that is locked up inside your body and that comes from the past, and an emotion and a sensation connected to a story that you've created your own stories in your life.
Yes.
Okay. And this is the opportunity to free that. And the way to do it is to feel 100% the bad emotion and to feel 100% a good emotion at the same time.
Yes. Yes.
That's Sagittarius.
Yes.
That's Sagittarius. So what is normally, what do people do with Sagittarius? They work like Scorpio. Division, only good, not bad. That's Scorpio. That's low
Black and
fat.
white. Black and white.
Black and white, and totalitarianisms, and you're good, you're bad. You know, Donald Trump has Moon and Lilith in Sagittarius.
Yes, I know a lot of Sagittarians or the Scorpio side, if they don't like something, it's absolutely no, you don't even go there.
Exactly. So, and Sagittarius, the key to Sagittarius is integration. Integration to flow and have faith in life.
Yep.
And to do that, you have to free the traumatic memories in your body, traumatic memories from your ancestors.
Yes, ancestral healing is one of the biggest things that has come out this year.
And it belongs to your ancestors. I don't care what happened to you. I mean, not that I don't care, but it's like, that's not the biggest issue. Like, I've had people say, look, I was abused when I was a child, blah, blah, blah. But then if you look back into the family tree, the level of abuse was much worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just repeating history over and over and over and over and over again. Why? Because
Yes.
we're not feeling 100% that sensation in our bodies and letting it go.
No, I agree with you. I love the explanation, and I think it's a big thing this year is a lot of the experiences that we got inside of us. Yes, it's cellular memories, and although we need to take the feeling of this, is to understand that feeling is not yours. It doesn't belong to you. You can let it go. Be free. Be free.
And what Sag invites us to do is feel the pain, feel the wounds, feel the trauma from the past, and at the same time, feel other emotions. For example, oh, I feel free from this, you know, or wow, this is so cool. Look what's happening. So if we hold these two emotions at the same time, this is Peter Levine's work. Peter Levine is Levine.
Okay, I've heard of the name.
For the past 40 years. So he has I think the TRE is his. Anyway, he's got a lot of work on trauma, and he explains trauma like a river that is flowing, a boat that is going on the river that is flowing, and everything's flowing fine. And then traumas are like stones in the middle of the river that they narrow the flow, and then that creates like a pocket with a whirlpool, and then the whirlpool sucks you in. That's the traumatic memory, right? So the way to bring it out is to create another vortex from a totally contradictory emotion that can be attached to this one, and then unblock it. So
that's a lovely way to explain it.
Sagittarius is about holding an emotion in your body 100%, identifying yourself with that emotion. Feeling that and expressing that emotion 100%, and not identifying it with it. So you are not that. You're just being that for a moment. And then that's what can allow you to hold other emotions, and your good emotions, bad emotions, all that is flowing through you.
I love the whirlpool effect. I think it's a great way to describe it. And I now definitely understand a lot of his work about the rocks in the river and how this pushes through in different dimensions and how it goes on in different pathways. Totally get it. Totally get it. Okay, we're coming up to, we've just gone past 11:30 here in Spain, and 11:30 wherever it is in your part of the world. And let's do a bit of this. And then a few people have asked a few questions. So we're going to have a chat with them, and then we'll be back very, very shortly. So we'll just do a bit of this. Okay, Phil Burville writes in, he's gone for the colour green. He's a damn fine gentleman because he's a Capricorn too. And 30/12/1952 has been trying to earn a living in the financial markets. Can you not see it? Yeah, 30th of the 12th, 1952. I will go ahead and start a bit here, but it's 15. Okay, right. Okay. It's very interesting here, Phil, because your question here about financial markets is Interesting. You got duality here, and the duality is because you're a 22 in numerology. And this is interesting because it means here that you've got the ability and a scope to look at things, but it's almost like in some respects, I'll look at this as a figure of eight. So the figure of eight goes up, and then it comes back down, and then it goes up, and then it comes back down. So there's the high and there's the low, the high and the low. So we've got to find the bit in between, the bit we need to release to find the balance. This then relates down to a 4. The 4 is strength. It is more about the foundation around your work here, about what it is you're looking at yourself here and where it is you're going, because then I get the feeling here that you're going to find, especially, let's take this as 21, actually, 2021, and 3, 5, 5, 7, 9. Next year you come into a powerful 10. Powerful 10. Well, actually, it becomes number 1. You come into your own power as you go through next year. And I think that's going to be an interesting time there. And I think here for you, Phil, I would say here, if you're looking to be more successful, I'd look around that particular time as being good. I would also say here too that I think, would you understand here that one of the strengths that you've got there, Phil, is being a manager, or directing people, telling people, working in that particular, it's almost like working in teams. Would you understand is sometimes working by yourself is good, but there's a need sometimes is a need more to integrate with people rather than to be working just on yourself in that respect here. It's almost like working in teams, if that makes sense to you. Because this is interesting. But your 2-2 here is good at working with people to create ideas, to create enthusiasm, and to create a spontaneity which then becomes good. So rather being exclusive, is more being inclusive. Inclusive to reach the goal that you're actually looking for. And I think that's where you are being exceptionally strong. He says yes. So that's one part here. But I think next year being a 10, a 10 or a 1 with a 0, the karmic 0 is what you want to put in it. So more there to do next year says that you will have more freedom. In general here, sometimes, so keep at it. Yes. So he says, so keep at it. I'd say if this is what you want to do, I'd say to keep at it. But what can you do to integrate with people to become inclusive rather than exclusive? That's what I would say looking at this so far. What would you like to say there, Guiomar? What would you like to add in?
Well, as far as future trends, that's not my forte, as you know.
No.
The astrology of 2021 fully yet, so I don't know the general trends for 2021.
I was just working on numerology there, what that would be like. Yeah.
Besides relationships, so relationships are a thing for 2021, no?
Yep.
But so in 2021, Saturn Jupiter will go into Aquarius, which is for Capricorn, it's the second house. So it's about bringing value, as you said, to people. And there is like a sort of a tendency to try to control people. Lilith is in Virgo, and also Lilith is with the moon. So that makes you very sensitive to people. So, but when one is very sensitive to people, one can tend to control people. There are two ways of controlling people. One is directly controlling and managing and being cold in that way. Another way is being a people pleaser. So neither way is the way, but something in between. So not being such a central figure, even though there's a part of you that wants to shine because you're a Capricorn, because your sun is conjunct Chiron. You want to be seen, you want to be acknowledged, you have that bit of a leadership thing in you. But it's important that you take like a step back and realize that the true leader is someone who inspires others and who's able to see other people's talents. Okay.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So, and I mean, you have Mars at 29 degrees in Aquarius. So the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is going to do a semi-sextile to that Mars. And then in like a couple of years, Saturn, well, a little bit before that, Jupiter, like in a year, Jupiter will go there and then Saturn. So that Mars, which is very action orientated and towards forming groups, is going to start developing in a year, in between 1 and 2 years.
Okay. Okay. That sounds interesting. I love that bit there where it's about stepping back rather than trying to be the one at the top trying to gain power in the financial markets, actually stepping back but empowering others to do this and then take the dividend that way. Would that
Yeah.
make sense to you, Phil? Because I think it's very interesting, this. Very interesting. Debra says also 21 5-year communication, change, chaos, creativity. I like the chaos bit. I relate quite well to that. Anyway, good. Okay, so yes, hopefully that helps you out there. So next year, very much about working with teams, very much about infusing people, which I think you're very good at, Phil, and also watching the dividends grow that way. And I think it's interesting to say the number 8, and we're finding that bit in the middle because that's where we're going to resonate on. So then it's interesting to say about Saturn, Jupiter, the two big planets there, and how we can find a middle ground here to work upon. Yes, he says, thank you. You are more than welcome, sir. More than welcome. Okay, a very nice lady has just popped by. Sasha Lee Smith, thank you very much. Yellow Leo, General Future Reader present. We need your date of birth, young lady. Thank you very much indeed. Date of birth, that'd be good. Thank you. And where else are we going here? Let's go and have a look with Laura Graham. She comes by and she says 8 to the night, 9 to the 4. Changing career, any advice, please? Oh, well. You're a 314. You're a 314 in numerology, and it's interesting you say about changing career because you could be the dynamite or the dynamo when it comes to communication with people. And I think as well here is learning to have a confidence about you to engage with people. So rather than just thinking about this, thinking I need a career change, it's more about talking with people and networking with people to say here, hey, what's out there? It's out there. Because otherwise here we get this part of your 4 here takes it on. Oh, it's my life isn't going right. It's not functioning properly. Actually, it is. You just need to look at this direction from a different perspective to take on positivity. Your 3 here, once you empower this, which is part of your personality number, is very much about, as I say, someone's talking about 3s, is this Trinity. It's about people, networking with people, create a consciousness between, a relationship between yourself with its prospective employers, career directors, or where it is you want to go. Now, one of the things here which you'll be good at as a 4 is working in something which is quite big, like hospitals are quite big employers, councils are quite big employers, or something which gives you structure, or something which you work in a structure, even if it's discipline, for example, or something like that. Yes, you have to find a whip. That likes discipline stuff, isn't it? Anyway, so, but this is very much about finding those stages of your life here to help you feel secure, that need to feel secure. Interesting enough here, your personal year this year is a 213. And again, we've got that 3 resonating, the needing to communicate, the needing to talk, the needing to learn as well. It's almost like, for instance, it's not just about changing job, it's what you can learn is going to be a big thing as well. Okay, I'm going to pop down the road to Guiomar and see what she would like to say.
Yeah, so Laura, it's interesting because, well, you're a Virgo, your sun is conjunct Chiron, and both of them are in Virgo. So the Virgo archetype is strong there. It's important to connect with yourself, to align with yourself. What I showed before about being balanced when you give, being in yourself when you give, it's very important for you to understand that, to be very grounded when you give. And if you just do that exercise of being grounded and then giving and imagining what it's like to give and then receive and bring back to you and then digest and process and get the feedback and then come back out, instead of just being out there, because even though most of the aspects are blue, so it's like it's a nice flowy chart. There's only one opposition and one square, which means it's nice and flowy. There's a lot of insecurities. I mean, there's a Venus in Scorpio with no aspects. There's Mercury in Libra with no aspects. So it's like fearful, shyness, and difficulty in communicating with others and reaching out and everything. And also Lilith in Taurus. But then there's a big tendency towards codependency, towards, you know, hooking on to others because you don't feel secure in yourself. So I think
Yeah.
it's more about just doing. There's also a genius aspect that's generational. It's Neptune Uranus conjunction, which was there at end of 1980s, beginning of 1990s. So it's about being more grounded in yourself, being more centered in yourself, and giving from there. So the insecurities don't eat you up, so to say. So you can be more flowy, and then from there, being able to associate with others, to work always in teamwork, but not in a codependent fashion, but like you from your own center and value together with others. So it's center grounding, learning to ground yourself very well before you relate to others. Remember, 2021 is very much a year that has to do with relationships, how we relate to others, how we coordinate with others, every level of relationships, not only intimate ones. So it's all about from where are you relating to others.
Mm.
So start asking that question from the position of your body. Okay.
I think that's a huge point there, and I think it's a need to find that sort of balance within the self there, and I think here, I think that would be a big part around you there, Laura. Right? Okay. Right. Let's have a little look here. We've got now. It's interesting here because your cards here saying actually yes, you could find work around you. You could do very, very well. It's about belief in yourself, about creating your own freedom. Freedom to explore and not feel so restricted or trapped. In fact, your cards is saying, well, you can go and do this. You want to go and do it, go and do it. You would find a very strong employer, though. Very strong. It says, okay, if you want to work with us, there's no nonsense. That's it's strong. And that would actually give you a position to go and learn. Now, it is a big employer. Could even involve a uniform. Do pick up a uniform with this, but it's someone who wants to give authority, someone like this. So that looks whew, mighty good, mighty good. Thank you very much indeed. So hopefully that helps you. Now we're going to pop down the road and we're going to go and speak to a very nice lady called Lisa. Lisa, are you there, Lisa? Good morning, Lisa. Hope you're well. And we got you. It's 29th to the 12th, 1984. And okay, very interesting with your numbers here. It's just gone for a general reading. And it'd be lovely if you'd gone for something specific because your numbers there are great. Your numbers here are great. It's great to work with. If there's something which you could say we could work on particular something, because generally though, you're quite a powerful soul. There's part of you that could be the absolute rebel, who doesn't want to conform. There's the other part here, which is wants to create all-out energy, and you've got this because you're a 358. And the 3 wants to communicate with people, be light, be flirty, be engaging, have a great time with people. It is quite a powerful thing. But then you've also got this 5. This 5 here is about I want freedom. I want freedom. So as much as you're engaging with people, it's like, okay, where's the bit that would concern some people is like, where's the stability in this? But the other part here of your 8 is power. What do you want to do with this power? For you, for a general here, is what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Because you've got the power to do whatever you want to go and do. And I'd say here for you, Lisa, it's important, I think, for you to look at your life now, say in front of you, and just see where you're going, because I think you've got incredible energy. And great, go for it. I'm just looking for your yes. Okay, right. Okay. What would you like to say there, Guiomar?
Yeah, you have Lisa has a North Node in Taurus. So North Node in Taurus is all about leaving behind drama, crises,
Whoa, yes. Just got into
emotion.
personal years. Absolutely.
Yeah, being very codependent, expecting somebody powerful to save you. It's all about that. So it's all about like getting favors in exchange of something. Whereas North Node in Taurus, where you have it, is about being in yourself, being you. You're the one that holds yourself. You're the one that creates your own reality, and you're not depending on others to create that reality, right? So
Okay.
Neptune in Capricorn also talk about the whatever you learn in this regards, you're going to teach to others. You're going to explain to others. But
Okay.
and your Lilith in Aries needs absolute freedom. It's Lilith in Aries with Sun, with Uranus, with Mercury. So it's about getting
Everything's
rid of
going on there.
everything. It's about getting rid of all the ties, like the mental ties, the belief that you're not enough, that you can't show yourself, the memories of being trapped and enclosed, etc. So it's about releasing and just really coming to you being you.
I think that's mighty powerful stuff. Very powerful stuff. I'm gonna. Okay, I think with that energy there, if it's but hopefully that helps you there. But I think you've got enormous energy there. If I looked at yes. Now I'm gonna pop down the road here. Let's go have a word with Alice. Hello, Alice. Alice is the 3rd of the 2nd, 1989. She wants a general reading. And I would say by your numbers here, especially for next year, wow, Alice, you're coming into your own. I would ask you, Alice, what is it that you want? What is it you want next year to go and happen? Because it comes down to your own questions here. You come into a 1 year, which is about you. It's just about you. It's some people's here. We could say, oh, we're being self-centered when we think about ourselves, but I think it's about you centering yourself and where you fit into the world around you. You've also got a karmic 0 here as well. So it's your life, what you want for you and what you want to put in it. What do you want to go and learn, discover? What is it that you want to bring into your life, which is very new? That would be the interesting part, I'd say, for next year especially. You're 325 by your birth number. That's interesting because you're 5 here. Yes, it doesn't want routine. It doesn't want things here, which is a very... it's very strong for a year to come into, but you need to explore without being too extreme. You need to explore without being too flitty. It's almost like, I like this, maybe I like this, maybe I don't, and just discovering. It's discovery. And then once you discovered, focus. That's what then will take you into 2022. That's interesting. Yes. What would you like to say then?
Yeah, so interesting chart. So Lilith is very active in this chart. Lilith is in Virgo, but it's with Chiron, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Saturn. No, sorry. Lilith is with Uranus. So it's a very active Lilith. It's also your Alice, you're at Aquarius, as you know, with a square to Pluto. So it's that supposed freedom of Aquarius is nowhere to be seen with 4 planets in
Ooh.
Capricorn, and Chiron in Cancer is like all those wounds from mommy and daddy, whatever happened to them that passed on to you. You are not free from yourself. And with a trine, an Earth trine, what's almost an Earth trine. No, it is an Earth trine. Sorry, it's like all that. So you're not free, but you feel you want to be free. And the way you think you're free is all about working. It's all about doing. But the more you do, the more trapped you get, and the more alone you feel, and the more empty you feel. So that's going to make you want to control more the people around you. With Lilith in Virgo, it's going to make you very anxious. Also South Node in Virgo. So that will make you very anxious, will make you control people around you because you're totally faced the wrong direction. I don't know what evolutionary point you're at, but I'm just saying this in general. And then the North Node in Pisces says, that's not a way to go. Understand how not free you are, how you've inherited a pattern of not being free, how you think you need other people's approval, how you don't respect your own intuition and insightfulness and abilities because you can't communicate everything that goes on inside you, so you think that's not useful. So then you're not being you, so then you focus on the outside and trying to please others and basically not being yourself and feeling smothered and getting into all these situations where you just lose control and you try to control everything and everybody, so that doesn't work. So it's about learning to appreciate who you really are. What is different about you? Ask yourself that. What is different about you? And look at your entire life, even when you were a little child. Often we show special traits when we were children, and then they get suffocated and smothered by society, by our parents. So look at through your whole life and just make a list of what do you feel is different about you. Stuff that you would say, oh, this doesn't, you know, this is weird, this is strange, this is woohoo, this is whatever. What's different about you? Okay.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I think that's hopefully that helps you out there, Alice. And the positive of this here is what is it you want? What is it you really want for you, which is in you? And to build on that. Be brilliant. Okay, let's go and have a little word with Sasha. Sasha's gone for colour yellow. She's the 10th, the 8th, 1992, and she would like a general reading. Now, Sasha, yellow, love the colour yellow. It's about communication, and it really resonates with your number because you're number 3 in numerology. And number 3 is about communication. It's about learning. Would you understand here that sometimes you know more than what other people think that you know? You know more than what other people think of what you know. Yes, so it's like it's like having that ability in your life here to really network, communicate, and be strong with people. And yet there's the other side here, which is sometimes very sensitive. Yellow wants to get to other people's, not necessarily approval, but to find the communication which helps everybody understand. You're going to a personal year next year as a 145. The one about you here says it's self-identity. This is interesting. The 4 is about having structure, a very strong structure towards next year. The 5 part of this here is being exactly who you want to be, providing the base is good. It's almost like a great big building has to have a solid foundation to support it in order to be good. And that's what's going to make your year quite exceptional next year. I also think here as well, you'll change the way you are in some respects. It's like you'll become more natural, but bring more stuff out from here, deep down here, to bring out to the outside world there. I think, Sasha, you could do amazing things if you did that. But it's finding something about yourself that you absolutely love, which is not so connected to mother. And okay, I'll pop down the road and see what you'd like to say there too.
Yeah, so it's like a very similar theme, you know, in all the readings, even though they're from different years. But again, there's a lot of Capricorn energy. There's also a bit of Aquarius energy and Virgo. So it's always the same combinations, no, in different aspects,
Okay.
but the same main theme. Also Pluto, Sun. So again, it's about like the Capricorn energy wants you to please people and wants you and you want to connect with something that you're bringing. Also with North Node in Sagittarius, a feeling of bringing something in, of having to align with your life mission, and not really knowing how to, when to, what to do. No, and that Sun Chiron in Leo, which is like wounded, and it's like, but I wasn't allowed to be me, to be playful, to be joyful. You know, I had to be more Virgo, Capricorn. And the Saturn Lilith in Aquarius is all about, again, not belonging, about being different, about having something different inside you that has to come out. So it's the frustration of comparing yourself to your family, to society, of meeting other people's expectations, that will never make you feel good. And with this chart, with the Venus Virgo, you might just go into like anything that is very detailed, to any technique that can isolate you from people's opinions. And that is okay because it's in trine to all the Capricorn things. But it's important that you connect with what is truly yours, not just go into that technical detail thing to get away, but actually to connect more with.
I think that's important. That's a very, very detailed explanation of the chart there. I think there's quite very personalized there. And this is something about the 5 energy that especially comes into next year, is having that ability to work on something which is really, truly you. And whatever everybody else thinks, whatever opinions they are, it doesn't matter, because the old way would have worried about other people's opinions perhaps, and more trying to fit in, where this is like, no, I'm not going to and I'm going to be me. And I think
Yeah, for example,
that's the thing.
it could be something like making jewelry.
Yes, yes. I love the thing about patterns, about the arts. I think that's a clever part there. Something very, very precise. But somebody here says, "This is me," and even if people say, "Oh, I don't like that," or "Oh, that won't work," that's their opinion.
That's their opinion. Anything can work now.
Yes, yes. And my opinion is we've come out to the end of the show, unfortunately.
Yeah. So to finish the show, Phil, I would first like to say happy birthday to Eric, wherever he is.
Yes, yes, Eric, a very good friend of ours, who sadly passed earlier on this year. Blessings to you, Eric, and blessings to also Kerry as well. You're saying here that you lost someone very close to you. Just looking to where that was there, but I know you mentioned that earlier. So blessings to you too. You want to know if they're at peace? They're at home. They're at home. Sarah says, thank you so much. Sarah, go out there and have a terrific year. But go do something which is amazing for you. And that'll be terrific. Okay, I'm back on Friday. Oh, sorry, yes?
Just to finish up, to everybody who we've done a reading and to everybody else too, a very Sag thing is to really, because we're in Sagittarius now, Sun in Sagittarius, so it's understand that the way we're going to align with our higher purpose and or our life mission is not through the mind, it's through the heart. So all you have to do is align yourself with you and let life and your mission find you. You don't have to go for it. It finds you and you recognize it. That's the way it
Love
works.
that.
It's not about something that you have to think about. Okay?
Feeling through the heart. On that note, we're going to end with hearts and burgers. Hearts and burgers. Guiomar, thank you so much. A big thank you also to Debra, the producer. A big thank you to all you guys out there for joining us this morning. And thank you so much. All the people watching as well. And those people who haven't watched it, we're going to watch it later. Thank you very much, guys, for also watching it. That's absolutely terrific. And have a terrific morning. See you guys. I'll be back on Friday at 8 o'clock on the Friday night spiritual show with my very good friend Helen Grady. We're doing a mediumship special, and we look forward to seeing you guys then. Always good fun. Guiomar, fantastic morning as always. I love having our conversations. It's brilliant. I could have cups of teas and cups of teas. When you have coffee mornings here, I think it'd go on all the way throughout the day. Had a long coffee morning that lasted till about 9 o'clock at night, but I'm sure we'd all enjoy the same. But thank you so much, and guys, have a lovely day. Cheerio.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.